Hi everyone, my name's Charlie and I've helped over 150 people win their PIP claims and I received PIP myself. Today I'm just going to quickly go through some of the top fears and myths about PIP. Okay, it's going to be quite fast because most of this is just bullshit. Okay, one of the big ones is that we think that because we don't look sick, they're going to think we're faking, that we're not going to be entitled to PIP, right? This is not true. This is why you evidence your diagnosis, okay? Most of the people I work with, we just don't look sick, okay? It's about how you feel on the inside. It's about how you manage your daily activities. That's what they care about. They are used to working with people that do not look sick. So don't let this put you off. If I say I can do something sometimes, they'll use this against me and fail me. Look, PIP sucks, right? There shouldn't be a need for my channel. There should certainly not be a need for my consultancy. We shouldn't have to get help when we're legally entitled to something. However, they will use certain wording against you. So if you say, sometimes I can do it, or the stupid advice of, yes, but, it is going to potentially screw up your PIP claim. I always talk about averages. You need to know on average, and which is what they want to know, on average, how often can you do something? Not sometimes. I shower once a week. I shower 3 times a week. I shower about 3 times a week. That's how you prevent this from happening. The assessor will lie about what I say or do. Look, the decision part of the outcome letter, I don't read them. I never read them, and I always advise my clients to completely ignore it. All of my clients with anxiety, especially paranoia, will read it and it will mess with their heads and it will screw up their lives even more than what they're already struggling with for months, okay? In my experience, the outcome, the decision part where they write the reasons, is just never right. That's not true. I've seen maybe 2 where they were sort of right. People take in 20% of verbal, okay? People naturally latch on to keywords, and then based on our bias, our own thoughts, we sort of hear what we want to hear, okay? Obviously, they're trying to write everything down as you say it, but we are humans. So just ignore the fucking decision bit. Ignore it, because it's never right. Say, for example, the assessor writes down that you got up and you did a dance, right? I don't care. I don't care. The whole point of PIP is looking at the activities they're interested in and how do you manage them on a daily basis. I don't focus on that report because, again, it is normal that it's not right. So this is true. The DWP will spy on me or follow me around. Yeah, they could. They could do this, especially if there's a reason. So, for example, if someone makes allegations against you and says that you're not sick, they might look into you. I would expect them, first of all, to check your social media, to check your medical details, to see whether it is worth following you around or if they've got enough evidence that actually, yes, you are really sick. For example, I saw this case where this young girl, someone made allegations that she wasn't sick because she looked fine, but she had a horrendous lung condition, which is why she had a blue badge. So in that case, they would check it and go, she is really not well, and ignore it. We need them to follow people. We need them to do investigations because there are so many dickheads that will try and fake claim. The actual statistics is less than 1% of fraudulent claims. But we do need them to do these investigations. And if we're telling the truth, what's the problem? Like, realistically, how many times have you been out in the past month? How many times have you changed clothes? Like, what is it they're going to find? Let them look. If I get PIP, they'll stop my other benefits. Bullshit. Complete and utter rubbish. PIP is not means tested. So that means it doesn't matter what benefits you're getting, if any. It doesn't matter if your partner's a millionaire. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. It doesn't matter if you own property. It doesn't matter if you've got savings. It doesn't matter if you've got children at home. None of it matters. It is independent. Exactly like it's trying to keep us. It's independent. None of it matters. If I work or study, I'll lose PIP. Bullshit. When I first started getting PIP, I was running a multi-million-pound contract. I was running New Look's transport operation across 5 sites across the UK and had like 200 team members reporting to me, and I got PIP. It doesn't matter if we're working. It's not what PIP is about. Yes, they will focus on that during your assessment because they always look for angles to zero you. If you've got young children, they're going to question you about that. If you're working, they're going to question you about that. Again, it's all about the activities and how we manage our daily lives. Many of my clients are working. You can get the whole point that PIP was designed was to keep us in work and independent for as long as possible. The bit where you're worrying about if you're studying. So, for example, you apply for PIP and then you apply for PIP and you say, I can't leave the house. But then you end up going to university, where you go into university. That means that something significant has changed. If you weren't able to leave your house, but now you're able to go into university multiple times a week, then you need to update them with a change of circumstances because something has changed and your points will change. If you're studying at home, they don't need to know that. Like, brilliant, great, learn, fantastic. It doesn't change how you get up off the toilet. You know, it doesn't. There's just so much misinformation out there. It really does my name. Obviously, why we're doing this video. Because I can walk to the assessment centre, they'll say I don't need help. Rubbish. Rubbish. Like, most of us I've walked into tribunals, but it doesn't mean I'm all right. It's just rubbish. I'm not even going to get into that one. If my GP doesn't support me, I will definitely fail. What the fuck? Right, okay. So sometimes the DWP will write to your GP. Like when I say DWP, I mean the companies that they subcontract to that do the assessments, right? So the assessor won't work for the DWP. They'll work for a separate company. Then they submit the report to the DWP, and the DWP will then make the decision on your points based on the evidence and what they've written about your assessment. If they write to your GP, it's a set form. You know, there's a couple of different forms, but the content's the same. Okay. So not everyone will have a GP form in their case. And to be honest, I've got a lot of situations where there's been errors on the GP forms. You need to do your own evidence document. You need to look at my channel and watch the guides on evidence. You need to watch the guides on how to practice for your assessment, because that is the most critical part, is the assessment, not all this bullshit, all these fears and myths. Like what I know is the most important part to worry about isn't even in this 100 fears and myths, because so many people are worrying about the wrong thing. Like, you don't need your GP. Your GP cannot explain how it feels to be you 2 a.m. when you are struggling to get off the toilet. You know that? They're not with you. They're not there as you're hanging onto the radiator trying to pull yourself up. They're not with you when you wet yourself. They're not with you when you're so exhausted you cannot prepare a meal for the 5th day in a row, so you need to order a fucking takeaway again. It is not right. If I appeal, I'll lose everything. I've never experienced this. Yes, they could withdraw your funding, but say, for example, you've got standards and you're appealing because you're actually entitled to enhanced. Well, they've given you standards, so they've already proven they understand that you're entitled to that. So unless you would have to majorly screw up and be like, oh yeah, by the way, on a Saturday night, I go to a disco club on my rollerblades, when in the assessment you said you struggle to walk. Like, what the fuck? Like, I've never experienced this. I always advise my clients to appeal because they never give the right points. They don't. So it's always a marathon, not a sprint. It is normal practice to not give you the right points. It is normal to try and put you off and hope that you don't appeal, especially because of all the misinformation out there. And again, I've got guides on how to appeal, because the reason so many people do shit at it is because they don't follow procedure and they don't explain what their daily life is like. They'll start talking about fucking 2017 when they had the hiccups. Not relevant. Okay. So I am absolutely appeal. Fucking appeal. Do not let The fact that the government skin and strategy stop you from accessing funding you're legally entitled to. Doing these videos really hurts because I get so passionate about it because I'm so infuriated at how much bullshit is out there, right? Think about it. People that have got PIP getting on with their lives, right? My clients have got PIP that are working, are struggling with daily life, and they're doing everything they can to work and spend time with their families. They're not going online writing bullshit. Like, they're getting on with it, okay? You need to just get on with it. They'll stop my claim if I go abroad, post something online, or get married. What the fuck? Right. You're allowed to go on holiday. If you do go overseas, it does say a lot about your health. Like, there is no way. I can't even get to my B&M at the moment, let alone an airport. What the fuck? No, no. Even if someone said to me, you've won a 5-star all-inclusive holiday to the Maldives, I would feel like I was being punished. I cannot do it. I am not well enough. If you are able to go overseas, brilliant. I am so happy for you. If you're going for under 3 weeks, the DWP are not interested. If you're going for 4 weeks or more, there needs to be a medical reason and you do need to contact them. If you get married, they don't give a fuck. They are not interested. There is nothing in PIP that says, well, if you get married, there's fucking nothing in there. If you post something online, you're human. Based on current fucking day and age, you're going to be posting, odds are people are posting something online, right? They're not that interested. They're not interested, okay? Like, this is paranoia fears, like real paranoia fears. If you get pregnant, there is no part of PIP where it says, oh, you're pregnant, we better ask, you need to tell us about that. It's not in there. It's not in there. I've written a book. I'm currently working with publishers. It's going to come out in 2020, beginning of 2026, right? Probably February. If you're still watching this video, you're going to need to get that book, because if you're truly worrying about all of this, get the book and try and filter out all the shit that's out there and focus on the facts. Okay, because all this energy you're spending looking at sites, looking at chat groups and all that is freaking you out is not helping your claim. This is not helping your mental health. I'm going to do more videos on this and I'm going to break it down to like claims, assessments, so that you can click on those videos. If you're still watching, you need to watch them. But my overall message is probably going to be bullshit. Okay? You need to focus on your current daily life and the activities. Those are the guides you really need to watch that is going to help your claim. I hope this did help soothe you a bit, like take a bit of the edge off, okay? I really hope it helped.